when you're recording?
Yeah, I've just started the recording.
Okay. Yeah. So, guys, just to tackle this term of change in inventory, which you will come across in P&L statement. So, when we talk about gross margins, what we actually subtract is cost of material consumed and change in inventory. We add this together, and then we subtract it from revenue. Okay. So, I just, in case you guys don't understand what this change in inventory item is, I wanted to just discuss that. Okay. So suppose we have a particular period, say FY23. Here, you have a company which is, say, selling 100 units. Okay. But the units produced by it are, say, 150. Yeah. Because it will often, it cannot obviously produce in line with sales, right? It will produce sometimes less, sometimes more. Yeah. So what happens is, if you put the entire cost of 150 items which were produced in the P&L statement, then what will happen, guys? You are selling only 100 units, but you're in the cost of goods sold, you're putting 150 units, the cost required to produce 150 units. So what will happen if we do that?
So 50 units will go to the closing inventory.
That is from an inventory perspective. That is from the balance sheet perspective, Astha. I'm asking you guys to
It
think
will
of.
be, sir,
Subtracting.
counting it will be incorrect because you are comparing your expenses with the revenue of those expenses which actually have not been incurred.
Absolutely, absolutely correct. So basically, there will be a revenue and expense mismatch. You're recording revenues for whatever you've sold, but you're recording expenses for whatever you've produced, not what you've sold. So to make it fair, what an adjustment is done, that in wherever you are, say 150 units is what you've produced. So the cost of materials consumed will be as per this 150. Okay. But this change in inventory is the adjustment item, which will have a value of minus 50 to make sure that your whatever revenue you're recording for number of units and whatever cost of goods sold total you're recording for the material consumed, they are in line. Okay. And if ever you produce less, say you produce 20, then obviously if you just record the cost of material consumed, it will be lower. It will be 80, whereas you're selling for 100 units, right? So to make that up, you will sort of make a change in inventory positive entry of 20. A positive entry in the P&L statement here means you're consuming from your existing finished goods inventory. Like whenever you had produced extra, that was, as Astha was saying, that will be stored in your warehouse as finished goods inventory. Next quarter or next year, when you're consuming it, then you will get a positive change in inventory item in the P&L. Yeah? Where your cost of materials consumed will be sort of lower, but this change in inventory will make up for that difference. So this is what I wanted to explain to you guys. Whenever you see that adjustment figure, this is what it means.
I
Uh,
had one
yeah,
question.
Gaurav.
So if there is a naughty businessman, right, he can also play around with inventory, right? By sort of I remember reading it somewhere. I'm not able to kind of pinpoint it, but what he would do is he would not give the correct inventory number. So, for example, if he's producing for 100, but he'll say, and he's consuming 100, but he's producing, say, 150. In that condition, if he says that he has less inventory, then his gross margin will start looking inflated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is also a very common shenanigan that is sort of used. I think I read it in Diamond in the Dust, probably.
Possible, Gaurav. So that's why when audit happens in a
Hmm.
company, one of the jobs of the auditor is to audit the inventory. So the plant head, factory head, everybody is required to sign off on inventory every quarter and give a signed declaration that this is our inventory. And then the audit team also goes ahead and sort of does a check on the inventory. So of course, if you start manipulating inventory, you can then manipulate a lot of things.
Hmm.
So audit is supposed to take care of this.
Right. Yeah,
But
this is some. Yeah, from a maths point of view, I just wanted to see. I mean, so if it's a not a good businessman. I mean, a thief, right? what would he do? Would he increase, or would he say for example he's producing 150 and he's consuming 100? What would he ideally do? Would he not say that he's not consuming any inventory, right? Or no, that would reduce his
That
cost margin. Or
No, if he's not consuming enough inventory, that will increase his gross margin because his cost of materials consumed will be lower. So I think what you're trying to say is, suppose he has produced 150, okay.
Hmm,
Uh, so then what happens is, here, you will have say a cost equivalent of 150 here and a
hmm,
minus 50 entry here. He can probably claim that he has produced 160 instead of 150 and try to subtract here, right? So
right,
you
right,
you
right,
get a 90 against it, and then he will hope to adjust it in the next quarter and things like that.
right.
So
Cool.
I haven't thought about fraud in this area, to be honest, Gaurav, but yeah,
Y-
interesting. I mean, you can think more now that you know how this adjustment is done, and we can
Yeah.
understand more about it.
Yes. I'll look into this one. I'll
Yeah,
maybe discuss this later.
sure, sure. Guys, do you guys understand this entry now? Can I just get a yes from people who understand?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay. If any of you have any doubts on this concept, this, I would hope that you would ask it. Otherwise, I understand that you now know this concept. So whenever in your PNL, anywhere you see these kind of entries, sometimes a negative entry, sometimes a positive entry, you now know what it means. Yeah. So yeah. Okay.
So just a clarification.
Yeah, man.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So when we are saying the chemical sector in general, companies are stocking up due to headwinds, due to uncertainty.
Right.
So they're having negative change in inventory entries, like for IPL also. So that is the very same reason that would be right. They are stocking up. They haven't sold that, but that has to be adjusted.
Uh, Correct. So I think Mayank, there's a difference between stocking up RM and
Hmm.
stocking up FG. So whatever your
Hmm.
so if it's pure RM and you have not tried to convert it into a finished good, then it will not come in your COGS anywhere, right? So your cost of
Hmm.
materials consumed, the first item, will only talk about the raw materials that or the work in
Inventory.
progress inventory that you're trying to convert
Hmm.
into a finished good. Okay. If you're only stocking up RM, it doesn't hit your PNL. It directly gets adjusted in the balance sheet. So your cash reduces, your inventory goes up.
Yeah, this was the doubt. Yeah. So
Yeah.
whatever would okay.
So that is basically an FG adjustment, more of the
Hmm.
the change in inventory figure. That is more a change in FG inventory. I think that is the term also used in PNLs. You can check. It may be even exactly written changes in finished goods inventory. I think. So,
Yes, sir. It's long term
yeah, yeah.
inventory. Understood.
Right. Okay. Chalo guys, we'll see you tomorrow. And I think Shantanu, Astha, Mayank, and Rishabh, good work. I mean, last week I think we fell a little short of the standards that we have set. This round of presentations on valuations, etc., was much better. So keep up this level, yeah, and hope to see great presentations from tomorrow from all of you. Yeah? And any doubts, still you guys have time. Do ask on WhatsApp or reach out to us or ask here. Yeah. Okay. All right, Gaurav. And we
Great.
stop for
Yes,
today.
we can.
Cool. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, sir.